Sehlwile Mthwakazi omuhle siyalamukela njalo kwesinye isiqephu sethu sezindaba ngomsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio namhla kungolwesithathu zingamashumi kuNtulukazi ngomnyaka ka-2025. Indaba lizethulelwa nguKhethiwe Chuma. Kwesihamba phambili namhlanje, uMongameli uChamisa uqinisekisa isizwe ukuba kukhona okukhulu okuhleliweyo phambili. Umhlonishwa uNkatiyore uthi indawo zokuletha imbiko emphakathini kazisetshenziswe njengendawo zokufundisa impucuko. Umhlonishwa uMrombetsi uphawula ngomthetho omutsha wezempilakahle. Nanzi indaba zethu ngokugcweleyo. Umongameli wabantu Advocate Nelson Chamisa usiveze ukuba sekulenhlelo esezingeni eliphezulu ezilungiswayo ukuba kuqoqwe okukhona okuza kuvela emaduzaneni. Akaphanga imininingwana eminingi, umongameli uChamisa uye waqinisekisa izakhamizi ukuba azizukuphoxeka. Izinkulungwane zabantu zikhangelele kumongameli uChamisa ukuba asungule kungekudala inhlanganiso ezakuqoqa izakhamizi ndawonye. Siye saxoxisana lezakhamizi ukuba sizwe ukuba bakhangeleleni ngemva kwenkulumo kamongameli uChamisa.
Hello Zimbabwe, hello citizens, Tony Shawa here. What I think is that as President Nelson Chamisa has always indicated that he's working on something big that is going to be launched anytime soon, which is going to be in the form of a movement, which is meant to displace or to remove ZANU-PF from power, which will come as a result of the power of the masses, because we understand that Nelson Chamisa is the president of the people and is loved by the people, is loved by the masses of Zimbabwe. And all of us, we know that President Nelson Chamisa has won elections for 2 times in Zimbabwe. That was in 2018 and in 2023. He won those elections. So after what happened, we have seen many members of the opposition getting disgruntled, the Triple C falling apart, him resigning from politics and going on a sabbatical. And many times we've heard him of late beginning to speak about a comeback from his sabbatical. So I really believe that what he's talking about is the launch of a movement that he is mentioned before, that it's ripe and it's about to come. And there are so many indications from his messages that something was being cooked all along, and the time has come for whatever has been cooked to be dished out to the people. And I believe that the masses have got a lot of expectation, and we are all waiting eagerly and in anticipation to see what is going to come up. And I believe in the power of the people, I believe in the power of the masses, and I believe that it is the masses who have the power to decide, with the decision to decide who will lead Zimbabwe forward, who will lead Zimbabwe into a prosperous nation again. I believe Zimbabwe shall be great, that shall be great again, and I believe that is possible, and I believe that the time is now. Thank you.
Indeed, the month of July saw President Advocate Nelson Chamisa meeting with various key community stakeholders, both urban and rural. He has been encouraging citizens to remain honest and loyal for the democratic alternative struggle. He has always been laying a clear citizenocracy path. This highlights the strong connection he has with the Zimbabwean citizens, as he is always the country's hope and alternative. Zimbabwean citizens at large are ready and waiting to embrace the greatest task and signal ahead to usher in a democratic alternative. As young people, we remain resolute and fully behind President Nelson Chamisa. A new great Zimbabwe is loading.
Omela abasha eHarare talele phalamende umhlonishwa uThakuzwa Nkatiyore usethe uhulumende akatshintshe indawo zokulethela imbiko ezisaziwa ngokuba ngama-post office kube zindawo zokufundela ukuletha impucuko. Ekhuluma izolo etalele phalamende, umhlonishwa uNkatiyore uthi ilizwe lilalo ikhono lokuba lisebenzise umkhonomi ngale impucuko ephezulu ukuze lisekele ukulima kanye lomkhonomi welizwe. Uye wakhala njalo ngokuswelakala kukagetsi, lokhu okwenza ukuba abantu bangene ebulenjini kube nzima ngoba akukho ugetsi. Ake sizweni umhlonishwa uNgaziyore ekhuluma.
Madam Speaker, ma'am, if this is not the future, then the future remains undefined. A future where a young girl in Binga learns robotics, equipping her to design automated solutions for our mining and manufacturing industries. A boy in Chipinge, Manchire or Chikore masters 3D modeling, gaining skills to reimagine our construction industry through digital prototyping and infrastructure planning. A NEET youth in Bulawayo gains cybersecurity certification to protect our nation's digital infrastructure. And last but not least, a farmer's son in Mashingo leverages artificial intelligence to optimize crop yields using precision agriculture to combat food insecurity. Madam Speaker, ma'am, it is for this reason why I rise in fervent support of the motion sponsored by the Parliamentary Youth Caucus, raised by Honorable Sakupwanya and seconded by Honorable Chigumbu, which seeks to remodel community information centers into fully fledged community digital training hubs. Madam Speaker, ma'am, Africa has for a myriad of years grappled with thematic issues around democratic governance, human rights, and poverty. I put it unto you that it is time that we contumaciously reaffirm our collective power as the continent of Nelson Mandela, of Samora Machel, of Patrice Lumumba, of Kwame Nkrumah, to speak authoritatively to issues regarding to technological transformations, issues regarding to green politics, eco politics, issues regarding to the international investment, and last but not least to the global finance system. Honorable Speaker, ma'am, I put it unto you that African solutions are there to solve African problems. And this is why this motion is so important. In so doing, this August House will understand why it is essential for us to remodel these hubs. Honorable Speaker, ma'am, I put it unto you that this motion also suggests that we establish a committee of the future, a committee which shall lead horizon scanning analytics, thereby ensuring proactive governance, competitive edge, and risk mitigation. Madam Speaker, ma'am, if I may submit unto you that the World Bank's Digital Economy for Africa initiative underscores that by 2030, 230 million jobs in the sub-Saharan Africa will require digital skills. And yet, as it stands, only 38%, according to Portras, of our young people have digital literacy. Madam Speaker, ma'am, the prevailing body of research will tell you that countries like Estonia, once a post-Soviet state, transformed a digital powerhouse by repurposing libraries and public spaces into e-centers. Closer to home, Rwanda converted rural telecenters into innovation hubs, bridging the urban to rural divide and creating a pipeline of tech entrepreneurs. I put it unto you, Madam Speaker, ma'am, that the gap between the rural and urban is no longer being measured in kilometers anymore. It is now being measured in megabytes. Madam Speaker, ma'am, our nation should understand that we cannot industrialize the mind with industrial age tools. And this is why this motion is not merely a policy proposal, but a clarion call to action. However, I put it to you that we should be careful. We should be careful because the recently held World Summit on the Information Society, WISIS Plus 20, has repeatedly highlighted conundrums in similar initiatives. The first one being infrastructure deficits. Madam Speaker, ma'am, without reliable electricity and internet, a digital hub become what we call in economics a sunk cost liability. This is because Zimbabwe's rural electrification stands only at 42%, and the internet penetration is just part at 59.9% according to Potras.
Umthetho omusha ozayo wezempilakahle kumele ulethe utshintsho lolu oluza kukhangelisisa lokhu okuhluphayo kugatsha lwezempilakahle. Lokhu kuye kwashiwo ngomela omama esabelweni saseMashonaland West umhlonitshwa uMutha Mrombetsi othe kulesidingo sokuba kube lohlelo olugoqela izakhamizi zonke ekulungisisweni kwalowo mthetho kwezempilakahle. Uthe umthetho lo kumele ukhangelisise kakhulu lasemaphandleni. Uye wakhuluma lo msakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio lapho athe kumele kukhangelisiswe indlela yalabo abasebenza kwezempilakahle kanye lendlela zokuthola kuncedisa labo abaphila ngokuzisebenza lalabo abangenelisiyo ukubhadala imali yasezibhedlela. Ake simzweni ekhuluma.
Indeed, the Medical Services Amendment Bill must not just be another paper exercise. It must bring real, tangible change to our health sector. Right now, too many Zimbabweans, especially in our rural areas, are suffering. Mothers, women are walking many kilometers to nearest clinics that have no nurses, no medicine, and no functioning equipment. Many of our accident victims suffer because they cannot pay upfront, and children are dying from preventable diseases because there's just no ambulance to reach them in time, and when they do, they demand cash upfront to ferry them from there to the nearest to the referral hospitals. We cannot continue the health system that excludes the poor and the vulnerable. This bill must lay the foundation for a truly inclusive national health plan that actually covers every rural clinic, every growth point, and every marginalized community. We must also ensure that fair working conditions for our health workers are clearly laid out. These men and women are the real soldiers of the health sector, yet they often work without adequate equipment in overcrowded facilities and with very little pay if you take a look at it. If we want them to deliver quality care, we must also invest in their well-being and retention. Another priority is establishing a national health insurance that actually works for everyone, including the informal sector workers and vulnerable groups. Over 70% of Zimbabweans work informally, and when they fall sick, they are left with nowhere to turn to because they just cannot afford the private medical aid, and the public system is just overstretched. Therefore, this bring us closer to the promise in Section 76 of our Constitution, the right to basic health care for all. It must move from paper to patients, and will continue to fight for a health system that truly leaves no one behind.
Izolo inkantolo ephakemeyo yamalungelo abantu i-Constitutional Court iyenza isinqumo esidale umehluko lapho imise ukuthathwa komhlabathi ophakathi kwemadolobheni lasemaphandleni kungela imbadalo. Lokhu kuye kwamemezelwa ngumahluleli uBen Hlatshwayo lapho ebethonisisa icala ebelihlanganisa u-Alistair Michael Fletcher kanye logatsha lwezokulima. Inkantolo yathi umhlaba lo ungumhlaba wabantu kanti njalo uhulumende akalalo ilungelo lokuba hluthune umhlaba ngaphansi kohlelo lokuthi uhlalisa kutsha abantu. Isiphathamandla sebandla eliphikisayo uSemgondongwe uye watshela umsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio ukuba uhulumende webandla leZANU-PF usehlulekile ukulungisisa udaba lomhlabathi eminyakeni engama-45 esedlulile selokhu kwatholwa uzibuse. Ake sizweni uGondongwe ekhuluma.
The ZANU government has failed to address the land question 45 years after the country got its independence. It is only proper that the CONCORD has ruled that the state cannot just grab peri-urban land without compensating the owners hiding behind the land reform program. In a ruling announced by Justice Ben Hlatshwayo in a case involving Alistair Michael Fletcher versus Minister of Agriculture, the CONCORD said the peri-urban land belonging to individuals must be paid for, not taken away like what happened during Hondo Yeminda era. Zimbabwe Land Reform Program is a complex and multifaceted initiative. It is aimed at addressing historical problems and injustices in land ownership and redistribution. The ZANU government, they lacked planning and implementation because the program is shrouded in corruption and patronage. The program is used by ZANU-PF to violate and intimidate people towards, especially towards elections. It is used as a tool to cow people into singing and wearing scarves just to safeguard their land. The ruling by the CONCORD is a milestone in demystifying the myth around the land reform program used by ZANU to grab land from owners. Once we have new leadership in this country, land should be redistributed equally and title deeds given so that it becomes an asset that enhances the livelihood of citizens. ZANU-PF cannot continue using land as a tool to make us believe that if we don't vote for them, then the land will be taken away from us. The land belongs to all the people and sons of Zimbabwe. Every Zimbabwean deserves to have his piece of land. But if you look at it, you see that those that belong to ZANU-PF, they've got 25 farms that are 100 and above hectareage. The hectareage is 100 and above. Yet they would want to come and grab a land that is 2,000 something square meters, but they are not looking at they are on their own how the land is stored behind their back, so that they use that land when it comes to election time and for corruption purposes and for making Zimbabwe dry. They cannot even sustain those farms. Some of those farms, Murukungori Masora, there's nothing that is there, yet they are keeping those farms, and us peasant farmers are crowded in rural areas. We need new leaders.
Isigwebo salabo abane abalwela amalungelo abantu abathunjwa egcekeni lendizamtshina eRobert Mugabe International Airport kumnyaka ophelileyo sikhangelelwe ukuba sethulwe kusasa. Abane laba abathi uRobson Chere, uSamuel Gwenzi, uNamathai Khwekhweza kanye loVusumuzi Moyo betheswa amacala okungaziphathi ngendlela eqondileyo. Omunye usaziwayo wezokuthengiselana kanti njalo elwela amalungelo abantu, u-Obed Masaraure, usekhuthaze izakhamizi ukuba zize ngobuningi bazo enkantolo ukuzotshengisa usekelo kulaba abasolwayo. Ake sizweni uMasaraure ekhuluma.
We are hopeful that the magistrate will announce the ruling on tomorrow, 31 July at 11:15 in the case where Comrade Robson Chere and others are being accused of disorderly conduct. They were abducted, dragged from a plane from Robert Mugabe International Airport, and then were accused of having engaged in disorderly conduct at a court proceeding, which involved some comrades from the CCC led by Jameson Timber and the Ronald Ondongo and others. This case has dragged on for a very long time. These comrades confessed their alibi, which was clear that they were nowhere close to a magistrate court when the alleged crime was committed. But the court system forced them to go through a rigorous trial, which was unnecessary, wasting state resources, and also emotionally draining for themselves. But now this case should have been closed by now, and the ruling should have been made. Unfortunately, this case has dragged on. We also know that the wife to Ronald Ondongo, Phyllis Pikitai, is also part of the accused. Her crime was to raise a placard. This particular case reminds us that our judicial system is no longer serving justice for the citizens. It's now a vehicle to persecute all dissenters. The regime of Emmerson Mnangagwa is now using what was supposed to be a justice system to be persecution machinery to try to silence all those who hold different views. Now, then Mnangagwa was afraid of a SADC summit. Now, 1 year on, having been a chairperson of the same SADC for over 8 years and delivered anything for the region, and we now wonder why he was persecuting citizens. So at the end of the day, we call upon all actors within state institutions to abide by the constitutional dictates, maintain, stick to their mandates, and ensure that Zimbabwe becomes a state safe for all citizens.
Usikhwicamfundo owaziwayo kwezomnotho Gift Mugano usisole kakhulu ukuzinza kwemali yeZIC njengamanga kungxoxiswano abelayo lentatheli izindaba yomsakazo we-HSTV uBlessed Mhlanga. Uprofessor Mugano uye wathi ukuzinza kwemali yeZIC kungamanga ngoba ingenelisi ukwenza into eziqakathekileyo ezifana lokusebenzisa amafutha ezimota. Ezitolo eziphezulu abamabhizinisi bafaka intengo ibe phezulu ngoba beqathanisa ngemali yomgunyathi. Uhulumende webandla leZANU-PF ushaye indiva izixwayiso ezivela kulabo abahlaziya ngezomnotho ngokuqhubekela phambili ememezela ukuba ilizwe liza kusebenzisa imali yeZIC kuphela. Kube lenye ingozi yomgwaqo njalo eyenzeke emgwaqweni weSeke izolo lapho imota encane ethutha abantu iye yaphuma emgwaqweni yachiya abantu ade bephakathi belimele. Isiphathamandla sebandla eliphikisayo Stephen Sarkozy Chuma uye watshela umsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio ukuba uhulumende kumele afake imali eningi ekulungiseni kwemigwaqo ukuze kwenqatshelwe izingozi emgwaqweni. Uye wathi kulesidingo sokuba kutholwe indlela ezintsha zokuthutha abantu ikakhulu emgwaqweni waseSeke ukuze kuvinjwe kube kulokho kusenzeka izingozi kulo mgwaqo. Ake sizweni okaChuma ekhuluma.
We are very much concerned by the increase in road accidents, particularly along the Chitumbisa-Harare highway, where last week we witnessed 17 people who lost their lives, and yesterday again another combi was involved in a road accident, resulting in many of the passengers getting injured. It is our call to the government that they must put more resources towards road infrastructure development so that we can avoid some of these things. We know that our roads are in bad state due to potholes, and some of the roads are too old and narrow, meaning to say the government must put more money to make sure that these roads are rehabilitated beyond lip singing and lip service. We believe in Advocate Nelson Chamisa's vision of smart roads, where he talks about spaghetti roads and motorways. It is clear that Zimbabwe now requires these so that we avoid some of these accidents which are due to poor road network and road infrastructure.
Iqhubekela phambili inxushunxushi yomzimba kalo wayengumongameli waseZambia uEdgar Lungu lapho kukhangelelwe ukuba inkantolo ephezulu kwele South Africa yethule isinqumo sokuthi uza kungcwatshwa kuphi kunyanga ezayo. Amagqwetha amela uhulumende waseZambia babhalele amagqwetha amela umdeni kaLungu befuna ukuba bayevakatsha lapho kugcinwe khona umzimba ukuze babe lesiqinisekiso sokuthi umzimba ngowakhe. Uhulumende waseZambia uthi ufuna ukuhlolisisa ukuba lo umzimba awuzange ucuywe yini. Ngesikhangele kwezemidlalo, emidlalweni yenguqu yangaphandle kwelizwe, umdlali weLiverpool uLuis Diaz usekulungele ukuba edlalela iqembu laseGerman iBayern Munich. IManchester City yona iye yamemezela ukuba uJames Trafford akasena kudlala labo ngoba esesiyadlalela iBournemouth. iSky Sports layo iye yabika ukuba lo bengumvimbi wamagoli kwele Southampton uAaron Ramsdale usesiyadlalela iqembu leNewcastle. Umvimbi wamagoli kwiqembu lesizwe uElvis Chipezeze uthethe isicoco ekudlalweni kwemidlalo ye-curling knockout kanti njalo lemidlalweni ye-Premier Soccer League kwele South Africa. OwaseBrazil uLucas Ribeiro odlalela iMamelodi Sundowns nguye othethe izicoco ezimbili zokuba ngumdlali odlale kuhle kusizini lo mdlali odlale kudlula bonke abadlali kuleyo sizini. Kusenjalo lo bedlalela ukudlalela iFC Platinum uthando lwenkosi Ngwenya kubikwa useza kudlalela iMazulu. Ukuziphetha lezi indaba kumsakazo weCitizens Movement Radio nanze besihamba phambili. Umongameli uChamisa uqinisekisa isizwe ngenhlelo ezinkulu ezikhona phambili. Umhlonishwa uNkatiyore uthi akujintshwe indawo zokuletha imbiko kube izindawo zokufundela impucuko. Umhlonishwa uMrombetsi uphawula ngomthetho omusha wezempilakahle. Siziphetha lapha lezi indaba.